Hello, 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 Facebook. Hello, everyone. It's me. It's me, it's me, it's me. Hope everybody made it in safely. Snow didn't do too much, but hope everybody made it in safely. Haven't been on Facebook in a while, live. Trying to get it right. Trying to invite some people while y'all join in. And y'all can invite some people. I'm inviting a couple of people. Hope everybody's day was fine, went well. Made it home safe through the little snow that we had. From what I'm told, it's supposed to ice up tonight. So be safe out, everyone. Be safe out in the morning. Take your time so you can get to work safe. Just wanted to share a little bit with you guys. Still trying to invite a couple of people. Give me 1 second. Hope your day went well. Had a long day. I get up at 3 in the morning. Came home, took a nap to get back up to talk to you guys. I'm inviting a couple of people, so give me a minute. Just talking right now to some people. Tune in. As I was saying, hope your day went well. Hope your week is going well. And all that good stuff. Hey, Keisha. I ain't been on Facebook Live in a while. I forgot how to invite people. So I'm trying to invite a couple of people. Just want to talk about my Empower sessions that I plan on doing. I know some people probably home getting ready for bed and a little relaxed, but pray that you'll chime in for a little bit, at least a little bit. Just want to let you know what I'm planning on doing so that you can share it with someone who may be needing a word or uplifting somehow, some way. Somehow, some way. So I am still inviting some people. So I just wanted to log on to Facebook tonight, and I wanted to just kind of like give everybody an outlook of something that I'm planning on doing. We know that February, is Valentine's Day and it's love month for a lot of people, but it's also a time that some people, get depressed because they don't have a spouse or a maid or, any different types of things. And for myself, I wanted to talk about self-love. And I wanted to talk about self-love because it's related to love. It's related to Valentine's Day, giving gifts and everything else. And a lot of times with Valentine's Day, we think about everybody else giving everybody else gifts. But a lot of times we ignore ourselves. We rush and we try to get a gift, and we spend money, and we try to do all different special things for our significant other, maybe our parent, somebody else special. But my whole thing was, what about us? What about us? How do we show ourselves love? Do we even think about self-love during Valentine's Day? Or do we just focus it all on our companion, our spouse, our mate, our friend, or like I said, that special person? So everybody know that basically I have designed my ministry to be self-love ministry. And there's a reason behind that, because it was self-love that kept me basically balanced, thinking straight, that kept me determined and motivated to keep going when I was going through some trying times in my life. It was self-love. Basically, I had to reach that point of acknowledging myself and realizing what I was worth, and that I could not let my storms, my situations, and circumstances get the best of me. So I became closer with myself, and I decided to call my ministry Self-Love Ministry. And with doing that, I formed my ministry to basically help empower other people. When I first started, I was just focused on women. It was just all about women. But these recent months, as I've been talking, to men as well, and different things that I want to do, and getting men opinions and outlooks on different topics and subjects or whatever, I've decided to revise some things and not just focus on women, but also men, because self-love affects both women and men. It shows a lot more with women. With men, you would actually probably have to sit down, talk to them one-on-one to actually figure out that they're dealing with self-love. They deal with self-love too. So my mission would be to empower lives recognizing the importance of self-love. And then my goal would be able to emphasize the importance of learning how to love you. Like I said, this is all around Valentine's Day. This is all around February, which is love month, and loving everybody else. But what about yourself? What about yourself? We can't love, here's the thing. We can't love anyone properly until we learn to love ourselves. We have to love ourselves first. We have to be connected to ourselves in order to give out the appropriate love. So how can we require love when we don't even know how to love us? How can we demand love? How can we expect love when we don't even know how to love ourselves? Like I said, all of this is geared around Valentine's Day. And like I said earlier, Valentine's Day is coming. We automatically think about, I got to get him something. I got to get her something. I got to do this. I got to do that. That special occasion, that nice event, how the day going to go, how the night going to go, how the moment going to be. But I decided to challenge someone, and even myself. What about yourself on Valentine's Day? Because there's going to be someone that may not get that gift that they thought they was going to get. There's going to be somebody that's going to be going through that hard time, maybe an argument, maybe something, or someone just gonna be single, just don't have nobody, dealing with those feelings of being alone or lonely on Valentine's Day. So how do those people handle Valentine's Day? And it's not just on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is just the day that we stand out and we exchange our ways of showing love and making the other person feel special. But if you're single and you don't have a mate and you don't have a spouse, how do you feel on Valentine's Day when you don't have anybody else to give you that gift or take you out? Or you have somebody, but they just don't do it. They fail to, acknowledge you on that day. They just treat it as any other day. So how do you still on that day in your relationship status, how do you show yourself love? Like I said, for my single ladies and men, how do you respond when everybody else is enjoying their moment and you don't have a moment to enjoy? Everybody else is talking about their plans. Everybody else is excited. How do you handle it? How do you handle it? So I decided to talk about self-love because self-love exists all the way around the board. Not just on, not just relating it to Valentine's Day, but self-love is very, very important. My question would be, do we still love ourselves regardless of who failed to love us or not? Do we still love ourselves? Regardless of who don't love ourselves, do we still love ourselves? Someone said, I take myself out. And that's good because that's a point that we have to get to. Point that we have to grow to. At one time I wouldn't go to the movies by myself. I wouldn't take myself out, different things. When a baby first came and I wanted to get out the house and do something as he got older, we go out, I hop different things or whatever. Now I'm at that point, if I want to do something and nobody else is available or nobody else is around, good, like that person said, I will take myself out. And that's one way. That's exactly one way of showing yourself love. Take yourself out. Don't wait on anybody else to show you love. Take yourself out. So that's definitely a great point right there. Like I said, regardless of your relationship status, people are married. People are by themselves. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, married or not, engaged or not, in a relationship or not, self-love still matters. Self-love still matters. So I think I would feel comfortable saying we love ourselves based on another person's potential to love us, but we neglect the responsibility of making ourselves happy. We depend on the other person to make us happy, but a lot of times we're not in that place to even know how to make ourselves happy. And that's the number one key. If we continue to rely on people to make us happy, we'll continue to be disappointed. Because when they're tired of giving us love, when they're tired of showing us love, when they're tired of rendering love, then we're left. We're left, dealing with all different types of emotions and feelings and hurt. And the recovery process from that can be very, very challenging. I don't have any kids, but if I did, it would be me and the kids. Absolutely. 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 I would like to see on my screen, y'all. I was fooling around with the screen trying to do some things because I haven't been on Facebook Live in a while. And normally when somebody respond, it'll tell me, who said it or whatever. So all I can do is read the comments. So I'm going to read the comments as they're coming in. Y'all make me feel real good because y'all commenting, So I'm going to read the comments as they come in. I actually can't see who's saying them, but everything that's being said and everything that's being mentioned is right on point. It's definitely on target. For those of you just tuning in, I'm doing an intro of my Love Me First love series. And it's all geared around Valentine's Day. Of course, everybody know I've been talking about my ministry, self-love ministry, and Anthony. Okay, thank you, Anthony. And so that was Anthony's comment. So thank you, Anthony. And it's geared around my ministry, Self-Love Ministries. And I have decided that this year I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to talk about some issues and some related areas that are built around self-love, because I think that it's very important. Because self-love is where it all starts. It doesn't start with someone loving you. It starts with you loving yourself and knowing how to transition from that point going forward. So I'm introducing tonight, and this is a vision that God has given me that's been confirmed through some things that I participated in the last couple of weeks. I'm introducing my Love Me First love series. And this love series will start this Friday coming. And it will be for the next 3 Fridays at 8 o'clock. We're going to talk about some important factors and issues that relate around self-love. So now I'm back on track after reading Anthony's comment. I want to continue to say that, and I have some notes. I may look down, look back up, but I wanted to make sure that I say everything because I think it's very important. Because a lot of times, like I said, I take self-love very personal. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it was self-love. It was self-love that, I'm telling y'all, it was self-love that got me back on track when I was going to give up. I had to realize that I was worthy of still living. I had to realize that even though my decisions, my mistakes, the lessons, and everything behind that wasn't the end of life. And a lot of times, I'm not going to say a lot of times, in life we have to realize that no matter how much we mess up, no matter how many mistakes we made, we still have another chance in life. We can continue to get better, get better, get better. We're not going to get it all at one time. It's baby steps. We don't have to beat ourselves up, I did it again. Okay, you may do it again, but it may be less of a chance that you did last time. Meaning baby steps. You'll get stronger. You get stronger over time. So like I said, to me, self-love is very important, very important. Like I said, it got me back on track. It gave me a whole new outlook of not just, yes, we all have to learn. We all have to learn. Self-love is very, very important. Acknowledging self-love can prevent a lot of circumstances and situations that are happening in the world today. We look around the news and we see so many different things happening. Parents are doing things to children, innocent children. We're talking about young children, months, haven't even reached a year yet. We're talking about wives and husbands that are, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's, taking someone's life. Those things, had the person in that situation really tried to connect with themselves and deal with their issues before maybe trying to deal with someone else in acceptance of their issues, maybe the situations would have went a totally different way. So that's what I'm saying. Self-love is very important because we have to become in tune with ourselves first. We can't look for someone else to fill that void, because when that void is no longer there, it's no longer available, then you're back to square one. So it's just we can't allow other people to control our happiness. And that's basically, self-love is geared around happiness. Happiness should be found in ourselves and not in our husbands, not in our wives, not in our girlfriends, not in our boyfriends, not in our spouses, not in our mates, and anyone else. we have to learn how to make ourselves happy. It's good to have someone to, you know, the surprises to make you feel good and to treat you right and to extend that happiness. But happiness and self-love and all of those things that really matter should be geared from within, and they should come from within. So I just feel one reason for doing this and for putting a lot of thought into this, I just believe that self-love needs to be addressed more, especially towards the younger generation, because we have the younger generations that are trying to impress one another. They're trying to copycat, and they're not taking the time to understand themselves. Who am I? You know, who am I? They're not taking time to identify their issues or their weaknesses, and not even that, they're not even trying to identify their strengths, you know, the importance of them. So even with this, you know, I pray that it will give insight to someone of the younger generation, that's struggling with self-love. And self-love is geared towards young, old, man, woman. You know, it doesn't matter your race or anything. We all can be affected by it. We all can be affected by it. So take note of this. Self-love is something that has to be established, but it also has to be maintained. And someone said happiness comes from you first. Yes, happiness comes from within. That comes from within. You know, you can try to fill the void with someone else, but like I said, when that person is gone, then that means your happiness gone. And then you have to ask yourself, where do I lie when that void is no longer there to fill the area in which I depended on? Because that's what you're doing. You're dependent on someone else to make you happy. As I was saying, self-love has to be established and maintained. We can establish self-love, but through different circumstances that we face in our marriages, in our relationships, in life general, they will challenge your self-love. They will challenge your self-love. So once you establish self-love for yourself, you have to be able to maintain it through this cycle called life, because you will be challenged in very different ways. Relationship, marriages, all different kinds of circumstances, as I just said, can test us in that area. Self-love, I would say most of the time, starts with a damaged heart of some kind. Damaged, disappointed. That lack of, we're talking about the lack of self-love. It starts from a damaged heart. From various situations and things that we'll talk about, you know, one of the upcoming Fridays. But various situations cause people to lack self-love. I've experienced many situations in which self-love required me to hold on. So that's how I can sit and do and feel comfortable and give information about self-love, because I personally know the struggle of self-love. You know, 42 years old, and the struggle of self-love just started maybe 3-4 years ago. You know, and I had to defeat that struggle. So it doesn't matter how old you are. Somebody can be older than me and still lack self-love. Somebody can be younger than me and still lack self-love. There's no age limit. It can be anyone. Someone says sometimes the devil would do it to see if you can handle it. That's why you got to defeat the devil. You got to defeat the devil. Here's the thing. You have to be able to recognize the things that are weighing against you. With anything that we do, we have to realize the things that are weighing against us. And what do I mean by that? We have to be able to recognize the things that are basically working against us. Basically, they're working against us. We're trying to go somewhere, but this certain person, thing, area, of our life is blocking us. So you have to be able to eliminate those things. So you have to also be able to think for yourself and realize, what you need to change and what you need to adapt to your different circumstances of life to move forward. Like I said, with me, I've been through the struggle of self-love, so I know that it's hard. I talk to people that will admit that they deal with self-love. That's why I decided to do this Empower session, because I realized that self-love is something that people will not admit to. No one's going to sit and say, I don't love myself. No one's going to sit and say, I don't love myself. Nobody's going to sit and say, I don't like myself. I'm not happy of myself. I don't like the things that I'm doing. It takes a while for someone to get there, and with anything in life that we want to get better at, or habit that we want to break, or area that we want to move forward, first thing we got to do is admit. We got to be able to admit it. So I just want to encourage people through this Empower session to get to that first step, to admit. You don't have to admit it to me. As long as you can admit it to yourself, as long as you can admit it to God, that I need to try a little harder in this area. I need to love myself a little more. I need to stop relying on people to make me happy. I need to learn how to make me happy. And those were some of the things I had to tell myself. I need to learn how to make me happy. Because when that relationship is over and that person is gone, or that family member is no longer around to say the things or treat me like they treat me for comfort, then I'm lost. And I got tired of repeating that cycle. Someone say they got to stay focused on God, and that's true. I can account to that, because it was God that I prayed to after that last relationship. When I prayed after that 5-year relationship, and I said, God, you know what? I'm not going to turn to another man this time for love. Because I knew I was dealing with a void for years. Relationship after relationship, I was dealing with that void that I was turning to a man. But after that 5-year relationship, I got tired of that cycle. I said, God, not this time. I don't want to do it this time. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know I need to do it. And that's where my cycle began to change. That's when my life began to change, revolving around self-love. So the person that said they got to stay focused on God, I'm telling you, when I prayed to God and said, God, I need to make a change, God allowed me to make that change. And now years later, I am now trying to encourage someone else to step out and love yourself and make that first step. Because, like I said, with anything that we try to reach, with any area we try to reach, with any situation we try to make the best of course, we definitely need God. So like I said, I can sit before you and talk about self-love because I've been through the struggle. I know how hard the struggle is. And like I said, I'm 42 years old. It could be somebody older than me or younger than me. The struggle is real. But a lot of people would not say that they're dealing with it. They're not going to open up about it. So I just hope that doing this love series will help someone, going into Valentine's Day, after Valentine's Day, that someone would feel a little better in that self-love area. That maybe you probably would have sat home on Valentine's Day and, been depressed. However, maybe you'll take yourself out and buy yourself some flowers and sit them on the table and buy yourself some chocolate or a teddy bear and, do something nice for yourself. Maybe. Thank you, Anthony. He says, I am speaking the truth. I mean, the truth for me is based on experience and I can only be real. And like I said, I know that what I'm saying is I know that what I'm saying is true because I sit and I talk to people about this stuff, you know, through simple conversations. And like I said, people won't admit it a lot, but some people will say I'm dealing with it on a certain level, you know. So people can find comfort. People will find comfort if they have the opportunity to do it. And that's my goal, my only goal. So with seeing my progress, where I am, my growth and my maturity in the area of self-love, you know, I just wish to encourage others that are dealing with the same thing. Maybe not to the same extent of me. Maybe not to the same extent as me. But you, like I said, self-love is a heavy area, and people will not speak out about it. So my only goal is to give someone some encouragement with moving forward. Self-love affects, as I said earlier in the video, it affects both men and women when they're trying to fill a void. They're trying to fill an empty spot, that void. There are different ways that people try to fill that void. We're going to talk about the female versus the men. And this is just the intro, y'all. This is just an intro. I went a little bit deep for the Fridays. You know, 2 topics every night. And Anthony, you got to make sure that you tune in on these Fridays because you saying some good stuff. And I like when people interact. So make sure that you, these next 3 Fridays, 8 o'clock, make sure you tune in. Because it's supposed to be interactive. You know, when people interact and they comment, you know, it lets me know that I'm relating to other people, that people understand what I'm saying. And not that, it lets me know that I'm helping other people. It lets me know that the challenges that I faced and that I'm sharing and that I'm not ashamed about, you know, can help somebody else along the way. Can help someone else along the way. Someone says, keep looking to the hill. You have a good word. Tag me in it. And believe me, you know, I tried to tag a couple of people in it because I'm just hoping that people will share. Like I said, this is an area that's important. You know, the world is crazy. The world is crazy, and people not trying to understand themselves. You know, people are dealing with issues and they know what their issues are, but they're not acknowledging their issues. They're not trying to identify the issues and move forward. I mean, it's not limited to just us. We're talking about artists. We're talking about movie stars. We're talking about athletes. We're talking about all different type of people, you know, and people have different ways of trying to ignore or becoming comfortable, not ignore, but try become comfortable with knowing what their issues are and knowing what they need to do, with knowing how it makes them feel, but still accepting to stay in the same place. And we just have to move forward. And I just want to help somebody else, you know, move forward. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the female versus the man. The female versus the man. So by me being a young lady, fix your phone so you can see who I'm talking to. I don't know what's going on with my tablet. I was trying to fool around with the tablet, y'all, and I pushed a button. And now my screen is just stuck. So all I can see is the comments popping up. But keep the comments coming. Don't stop because I can't see who you are. You know, I'm going to read your comment and, you know, keep going. I like the interaction. I like that people are responding, and that was one of my hopes. So, you know, that really gives me a lot of encouragement. So we're going to talk about the female versus the men. when we talk about females, me being a female, back in my days when I was struggling with self-love and dealing with self-love and trying to fill a void and, all different things going on, females, a lot of times trying to fill that void, the first thing we do is we try to find a man. We try to find a man. And a lot of times we sleep around and we become promiscuous because we're looking for that love. We're looking for that acceptance. So we sleep around. We become promiscuous. There are some people, there are some females that feel comfortable stripping. They strip. They do that. Their needs of making money. They see no other way. Or just attention or just a way to make them feel good. There are females that will accept any kind of treatment just to feel love. They'll accept being treated any type of way just to feel love. There are females that will accept being abused, whether that's mentally, physically, or emotionally. They know that it's wrong. They know that they don't need to be there. But they will accept that love. They would know that. I'm going to take that back. They will accept that treatment just to feel loved because they're stuck. So we have the females that will sleep around, that will become comfortable stripping. They'll accept being treated any type of way. And you're right, not only females do it, men do it too. You're exactly right. But you'll see as I go on, I'm going to also repeat some of the things that I'm saying for the females. I'm just trying to do a breakdown versus the women versus the men. So, but you're exactly right. Not only females do it, men do it too. So, going back to the females, we have the females that will sleep around, become promiscuous. They will become strippers. They'll accept any type of treatment, even abuse. And the thing is, they know that it's wrong, but they still accept it. That's lack of self-love. That's a situation where you don't love yourself and you're allowing yourself to stay in that situation. Things could be a lot better. Females, we're still on females. We have females that will dress inappropriately for attention because they think that's the way of being noticed. We have females that will participate in some sort of bad habit or maybe an addiction because they're struggling with self-love. And we have females that are not capable of overcoming the things that they were exposed to as a young child, whether that be sexual abuse, sexual identity, struggling with their identifying who they are, what they want to be, how they were born, confused, or going through something that just made them want to just try something else. A phase. Sometimes I would say a phase. Maybe dealing with an abusive parent, a drug or alcohol addicted parent. Maybe it was someone that seen their mother sleep around. So now they think that that's the way of doing it, that they're supposed to sleep around. Or even it could be the lack of education. Somewhere along the lines where you're older now, but when you were younger, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So now that you're older, you see how that has limited your life. And now you look at other people that are gone beyond and far and doing things. And now that has you stuck because you didn't appreciate the chance that you had. All of those, y'all, I'm telling you, are ways and examples that self-love is geared around. So now when we go to the man, now we're going to talk about the man. Men that deal with self-love, issues, the lack of self-love, may feel that it's okay or become comfortable with disrespecting women. Young men, our youth, they may feel comfortable and feel that it's okay to become part of a gang because that's presented as your family now. But the benefits behind that gang and the benefits behind the things that you have to become accountable for, it's not love. So once again, you're dealing with issues within yourself. You're lacking the love within yourself because you're accepting something that's not really love, just to be love. Men also participate in some sort of bad habits or maybe an addiction. They also are not capable as well for overcoming, or they may not be able to find strength to overcome the things that they were exposed to as young children. Whether that be sexual abuse, again, sexual identity, an absent parent, having an abusive parent, an addicted parent. Men also deal with sexual identity issues. You know, they're born one way but feel they want to be another way. That's based on whatever they were exposed to in their life at whatever point of life that it was. That can also cause, those are issues that can also cause, lack of self-love. As someone said earlier, men too, they sleep around. Men too, they feel that, being a stripper, is what they need to do. A lot of times people will cover up self-love. Self-love can be covered up. Oh, I do this and I'm happy, I'm okay. But in reality, you're not. Because once you leave that spot of just being comfortable, you're back to square one of a place of being hurt. So it's very important. And those are just some of the things that I wrote down. But as the person said, men do the same thing. Men do the same thing women do. Men do the same thing women do. And I only broke that down, the men versus women, just to show, like I said, when I first started thinking about self-love and developing self-love ministry, it was all based on women. It was all based on women. But as I started talking to me, and I'm going to tell you people, men that I were comfortable, co-workers and family or whatever, and they would say, what about us? And I never really would think about it too much. I just laugh and say, but I really was challenged with what about us? Because it was at least 3 to 4 men that would say, as I would talk about, oh, I'm doing this and what you think or whatever. And they would, tell me that maybe they had a family or a female family or friend that might be interested or could benefit from it. And they would always come out and say at the end, well, what about us? What about the men? And I took it for a joke at first, but then I really started to really think about that men deal with self-love just as well as women do. So I decided to gear things around a certain aspect to not just suit the needs of women, but to also suit the needs of men. And like I said, we face the same thing. Some of us need to love ourselves more. We need to love ourselves more. Whether that's physically, the way that we treat ourselves, emotionally, the way that we feel about ourselves, or mentally, the way that we think about ourselves. Physically, how do we treat ourselves? Emotionally, how do we feel about ourselves? And mentally, what do we think about ourselves? So I would just challenge anyone just from there, and I'm almost finished, y'all, just from there, from those 3 things, anybody that may be watching or may know somebody that may be in a circumstance, situation where it affects their self-love, I would just say, think about those 3 things. How do you treat yourself? How do you feel about yourself? And what do you think about yourself? And when I say mentally, think about, not just think about how you feel about yourselves, but think about how the certain things that you are exposed to, the things that that are around you daily, how do they affect you? How do that abusive relationship affect you? How did that spouse that disrespects you make you feel? How does it affect you? So many different things. So many different things and circumstances and problems. Physically, emotionally, and mentally. This empowerment session is about it's going to be about basically learning you and understanding you completely. Recognizing the bad to produce the good. That's all it's about. Just to give people an eye open. A lot of times, like I said, this is geared around Valentine's Day, y'all. A lot of times, like I said in the beginning, we think about the other person, but we forget about ourselves. And I just want to challenge people that this Valentine's Day, you will think about yourself. Think about yourself. Don't have a spouse, don't have a mate, single. Take your own self out. Buy your own flowers and bunny, teddy bear, chocolate. Make yourself feel good. Because when you begin to make yourself feel good, I'm going to tell you, when you begin to make yourself feel good and people see that you are no longer dependent on other people, it does something. And not only does it do something, you can also encourage somebody else to step out of that same area, just as I'm doing. I'm sharing this to encourage someone else, regardless of your relationship status. You may get in an argument on Valentine's Day and say the heck with Valentine's Day, but guess what? Still treat yourself good. Still treat yourself good. Don't allow your happiness and your basis of love to be put in someone else's hand. And that's the whole challenge of this through the upcoming empowering sessions. How can I deliver truth? It's based on my personal experience and circumstances, as I said earlier, all in which challenge me to love me in spite of where I am in life. Where I am in life, what I faced in life, and how I feel about life. That's how I can sit in front of you and give you all this information. Like I said, we look around the world and so many different things are happening, so many circumstances, and situations that don't have to happen, but happen because people don't take themselves to become in tune with them. That's where it all starts. And I decide to name these Facebook Live sessions empowering sessions because it's just to empower. It's just to empower, give somebody hope, bring them out of that hopeless state to that hopeful state. So just get somebody back on track. Somebody may have lost hope, been through something, just need some encouragement, just need a uplifting word. Just to connect with somebody and know that somebody else has experienced and has been through the struggle, and I'm not the only one. Because a lot of times we feel that we're the only one dealing with certain issues. But when you begin to speak out and let people know that you're not the only one, I'm there or I've been there. And it kind of helps them. So as I said, the Love Series, Loving Me First Love Series will start this Friday. This is just the intro, y'all. So if y'all like the intro, y'all got to tune in Friday at 8 o'clock. So it's going to be for the next 3 Fridays. Friday at 8 o'clock. Here's some of the topics. It's going to be 2 topics every night. And like I said, I pray that people will also respond and comment, even questions or whatever it is. I want to make it an interactive, fun, but knowledgeable experience. And this is just the start of me doing the empowering sessions. Like, I want to try to gear myself around different topics because self-love is the main, point for me, but different things, whether it's depression and so many other different things. Like I have so much stuff up in this head, y'all, that I sit and I jot down, and I just pray that God gives me the vision, and He just allows me to be able to somehow put everything together to help people. For me, I'm like I say many times, I'm not one to focus on numbers. As long as I get somebody, as long as I know that I'm helping somebody, I'm good. So I pray that, something that I've said through this intro of the Loving Me First Love series has made you interested to want to tune in. Like I said, the next 3 Fridays at 8 o'clock. This coming Friday, I will be able to tell you this coming Friday, some of the 2 topics that we will be talking about. We'll be talking about what is self-love. And, for those of you that are on now, you'll know what the topics are, and you can actually, I will tag you, Anthony. I really will. Those of you that are looking now, that are on Facebook Live now with me now, I will tell you the topics now so that you can even get your thoughts together and be ready to interact with me on Friday. So day 1, which will be this coming Friday at 8 o'clock, we will talk about what is self-love. We will actually talk about what is self-love. Everybody may have different opinions of self-love. But we're going to talk about actually what is self-love. So you can bring to the table and express what you think self-love is. I would like, to listen to what other people think as well. And then we're going to talk about why self-love is important. So we're going to talk about this Friday, what is self-love and why is self-love important. So those are the 2 things that you can think about. Just to let you know and give you some idea of how deep, how interesting it's going to get. The next Friday, we're going to talk about reasons and effects of self-love. Some reasons that people deal with self-love and the effects that self-love have on people. So what are some reasons that people are affected by self-love? And then the effects. What are some of the ways that people, deal with that challenge of lack of self-love? So we're talking about lack of self-love. And then we're going to talk about next Friday, ways of cultivating self-love, which means what are some ways that we can show our self-love for someone that may be stuck in that place of knowing they need to change and go forward. What are some ways that you can show yourself love? And then the last night, we will talk about self-awareness. We'll talk about self-awareness, which is basically learning to understand you. Learning to understand you. There are going to be some different things that I'm going to share to open your eye about learning to understand you. And then after we talk about that, we're going to talk about confronting that thing. We're going to talk about confronting the issue of dealing with self-love. How can you become better? How can you revamp things? How can you put a plan together for yourself? And how can you begin to feel good about yourself? And I just hope at the end of this, at least one person will be able to say, Keisha, you've helped me. Like I said, I pray for more. But I always hope for at least one. So, and then I have a little exercise. The last night, it's going to be a little exercise, and then I'll go into the little recap of the recap and closing and talk about some other things. So I really pray that this has helped somebody, or at least challenge someone's thinking. We don't know people's situation. We don't know the circumstance they have to face day and night, even throughout the day. We don't know how people feel about themselves. Like I said, we for as women, you know, we have the hair, we have the makeup, we have the clothes, we have the figure, we have all of that. But what does that mean if you have nothing inside, if you don't love yourself? And for the men, you know, you have the clean shave, you have the nice haircut, you looking handsome, everything else. But what does that mean if you haven't connected with you? And that's what Loving Me First Love Series is about. So again, my hashtag through all of this, y'all, will be self-love matters. Self-love matters. You know, we say Black Lives Matter. We have all of this stuff. But for me, self-love matters because self-love is where it starts. You know, without self-love, you're always going to put your life, your happiness, you know, in someone else's hand. And I just want to help people transition, you know, through my experience, through my process, through my encouragement, you know, through me stepping forward out of my comfort zone. I just want to help someone else because there were other people that helped me to get to where I am. I didn't do this by myself. You know, God helped me, but there were physical people that I actually knew what I was struggling with that helped me and encouraged me along the way. And I'm thankful for everybody that has helped me. So I just want to return the favor to help someone else in need. So I hope that you all have enjoyed this intro Empower session. Meet me back Friday night, 8 o'clock for the official first Empower session. So thank y'all for this hour. Enjoy your night. And I will see y'all. Maybe I'll do Facebook Live before Friday. Maybe I'll do just something short again Friday about the Empower session. But if not, I will see y'all definitely Friday night, 8 p.m. Hope that y'all have enjoyed this. Share with somebody. Let them know. If you know somebody, like I said, you know somebody that's in an abusive relationship, that's feeling a little down about themselves, that need a word of encouragement, just need to uplift and need to transition a different direction, and you feel that this self-love session, empowering session will be something to just challenge their thinking, then, you know, let them know about it, tell them about it, ask them to share it, because it's something that, you know, we all need, and it's something that we all have to build upon to move forward. So enjoy y'all night. See y'all later on this week, and don't forget about Friday, first Empower session, Friday night at 8. Bye bye.